Hey everyone, welcome back to In a Pinch. I'm Chris, and today we're talking about Lenny Stark White. I got my Cubs hat on. This will be the first of a long series of back-to-back and tandem reviews that Puff and Snuff and I do together. This will be a back-to-back review, which means that we record separately. We don't know what each other are going to say, and we upload the videos at the same time. All that has been communicated between us is what we're going to review. I don't know what he's going to say or if he's going to like it. He doesn't know what I'm going to say or if I'm going to like it. We have pretty similar tastes in most things, so I imagine there's a lot of stuff that we'll both like, but there's probably going to be some stuff we disagree on too. So it's kind of an experiment. We'll be doing tandem videos too. When I upload this video, there will be a link in the description to Puff and Snuff's channel. If you're not already a subscriber, you really should be. And then once it's up and his is up too, I'll go back and see if I can edit that address to take you straight to his review of Lenny Stark White. Anyways, the snuff itself, I wasn't sure how to approach this in a review because I really have a strong love-hate relationship with it. I'll get into it. How to do this? You know what? I'm going to show you the can. I'm going to pop it open, stick one in, we'll let it warm up, and then I'll go through what I do like about it and what I don't like about it. First, the can. It's a... Oh, I still got to get used to doing that backwards. It's a pretty simple... got the GN seal up top. This is a GN product. Lenny Stark White. You got the 3 out of 5. I'm assuming that's referencing the strength. The sides, you got 13 grams, which we're going to talk a lot about. And then here, so this was my first order with Snooze 24. I usually order through Snooze Central, and I like a whole lot of things about Snooze 24, but these warning labels versus Snooze Centrals are obnoxious. I can't peel them off without leaving some behind, although I have found that being thinner, you can crack through it, so that's what I'm going to do here, but the part underneath there pretty much looks like the top of the can. And then on the back you got the Swedish warning label, modified to now imply that tobacco will cause harm and is addictive. The GN seal down at the bottom, and then the best before date, which is August of next year. So that's actually pretty far out. So that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and crack the can. And pop one in unceremoniously. Let the dog out, let this warm up, and come back to talk about what I do and don't like about Lenny Stark White. Alright, so we got the puppy outside, happy playing in the rain, got a portion pretty well warmed up. Alright, so like I was saying, this is now my third can of the Lenny Stark White, and it really is a love-hate relationship. I'm going to tell you what I do like about it first, and then I'm going to tell you what I don't like about it, which might not be a big deal at all to any of you, but to me, being a numbers person, it really is. What I do like about it, the can is simple, it's not pretentious, it's blazing white, and this light's not going to pick it up because I keep choosing to record these videos on downcast days and the light's terrible. But these white portions are very clean white portions, and the first time I opened the first can and saw the white portions against the white background, it just looked very clean. They're not goopy, they're all pretty well plumbed. I mean, you don't really have to do a whole lot with them. You can kind of just pop one out of the can and stick it in. I'm OCD and I gotta fluff it into like a specific shape anyways. But for those of you who aren't and you just don't want it all built up in the corner, they are pretty well primed for you. You could just pull one out of the tin and pop it. I do like the tin scent. It's a really clean bergamot with some lemon, and it's really about it. You know, again, nothing too showy, nothing too flashy, nothing too complex. The taste, so it's a white Stark portion, and I've only had one other Stark White portion. Did I just reverse that? Yeah, I've only had one other Stark White portion, and that was the With the Words Rip limited edition white large stars. And this one hits a lot like that. A white Stark portion to me doesn't really give me a huge extra boost of nicotine like a regular Stark portion would. The Stark whites for me just seem to give me the right amount of nicotine for a longer period of time. So it comes on slow. You don't really get a whole lot of flavor out of this until about 5 minutes in. It starts juicing up, and you get spice because it is a Stark, so it's gonna be a little bit peppery. And then the bergamot, and I'm not sure how to get across why I like this bergamot over any other bergamot that I've had in a snooze yet. It's just clean. It's a really clean bergamot. It really is like sticking my nose into a tin of Blarney and Sons Earl Grey loose leaf and just inhaling. It tastes just like that smells. Bergamot and tobacco go together really well. You see that in the world of snuff with the whole category of SPs. Bergamot and tobacco, it just works like peanut butter and chocolate. So that flavor comes on. You never really get the lemon that I can smell in the tin. At least I never get the lemon that I can smell in the tin. Just really clean, sharp bergamot, and then the pepper of the tobacco. Aside from the pepper, I can't really taste anything else out of the tobacco base. It's mostly just the bergamot, but it lasts for ages. I popped one in a few days ago. I was mowing the lawn, and I live on 1.1 acres, and it's all trees. So the whole thing is like a 3-hour process: picking up the sticks, getting all the stuff out of the way, the hoses out in the yard, all that, and then finally mowing. And I popped a portion in right before I started doing all that, and when I finished, I was still going strong on it. The flavor was still there, the nicotine was still there. All of that I love about Lenny Stark White. What I don't like. All right, so this might seem nitpicky. I'm a math guy. I'm a chemistry guy. So here's what bothered me, and I didn't even notice it when I ordered it. While I'm holding the can, one other thing I hadn't thought about. Because of, if you look inside the catch lid, it being so white, with the last can I noticed if I put anything in this catch lid, when I went to empty it, I had to wipe it out with a paper towel because it'd be all smeared brown. Which again with my OCD is just kind of it bothers me. And then the catch lid itself is really loose, so that kind of bothers me too. Now this is marketed as being a bargain snooze, so I expect bargain tins, and I can get around all that if that's all it was. But here's how they got me. I didn't notice the 13 grams until it came in the mail. And I popped it open and I looked, and there were 13 portions in the tin. I'm going to crunch some numbers for you. I wrote them all down, so don't mind I'm reading these off of a piece of notebook paper, but I did make some notes. And what I'm going to do here, I'm actually going to compare this to, originally I was going to compare it to another Stark bergamot portion, but I didn't want to compare it to a Swedish Match product because it's GN, and GN generally is significantly cheaper in some cases than Swedish Match. But there actually is another GN bergamot snooze that I like a lot. That's not marketed as a budget snooze, and it will be my next review. So quick heads up on that. But I'm going to compare it just by numbers to Odin's original portion. Now I know that's not a Stark, but it was the closest thing I could think of within the GN range to compare it to. So on Snooze Central, a tin of Lenny Stark White is $2.35. At 13 portions, that means you're paying 18 cents, or to be exact, 0.1807 cents per portion. At Snooze 24, you're paying $2.12 a can. At 13 portions, which has you paying 16 cents or 0.163 cents per portion. If this were a tin of 20 instead of 13, like Odin's Original, another GN bergamot snooze, if it were a tin of 20, this would cost you $3.61 at Snooze Central, at 18 cents per portion over 20. it would cost you $3.26 cents from snus 24. Odin's prices to compare. Now remember, this is the one that's marketed as a budget snus. Odin's, which is not marketed as a budget snus, at Snus Central is $2.50 a can. 20 portions per makes it about 13 cents a portion, or 0.125, compared to the Lenny's, which is 18 cents a portion. Which means that if Odin's came out in a can of 13, like Lenny's does at Snus Central, it would cost you $1.63 or $1.62.5. If you were shopping at Snus Central, Odin's original portion costs you $1.98 a tin. At 20 portions per, they cost 0.099 cents each, so we can round it up to 10 cents. Which means that if that came in a tin of 13, like this does, then you would be paying $1.29 for a tin. Why does that bother me so much? $2.35, $2.12 isn't a whole lot to pay for a tin of snus that I enjoy, and I do really enjoy this. I could use this pretty regularly. If I were living somewhere where this were available over the counter, and I wasn't paying the shipping, it really wouldn't bother me that much. I consider it a convenience thing. I only got a couple bucks, you know. Lenny Stark White is a good snooze. I'll spend my couple of bucks on that. When you're ordering from overseas, though, if you're not in Sweden and you're ordering overseas from Snus Central, Snus 24, Buy Snus, or any of the other sites that are out, the shipping costs break down by weight. So when I'm looking at it, and Odin's original portion, the shipping weight is 35 grams, but 18 grams of that is snus, which means the can is 17 grams, which means that 48.6% of the total weight you're paying for is can, versus Lenny, where you're getting 13 grams of snus, 18 gram cans, shipping weight's 31 grams, which means 58.06% of the shipping that you're paying is for the can. That won't bother a lot of you, I get it, but it really bothers me, and I have to mention it in my review because that's the reason I will probably never order this again. To be OCD and be a numbers guy, it does ruin some good things. I really enjoy this stuff. If they release this in cans of 18 or 20 at around what Odin's portions are costing, I would probably throw at least a couple cans in on every order for the foreseeable future. But for the aforementioned reasons, I will probably never order a Lenny Stark White again. So those are my opinions. Good snooze, but in the numbers they kind of rip you off. Under no circumstances, when you break the numbers down, can you actually call this a budget snooze? Its prices exceed most of GN's prices for their non-budget snoozes, and comes close enough to approaching Swedish Match's prices that I would actually consider this expensive for GN standards. So those are my thoughts. Pop over to Puff and Snuff's channel and see what he had to say about this stuff. Exciting times coming up. Got the Odin's original portion review. The Puff and Snuff and I will also be doing back to back like this one was, and then we're going to do a tandem review of something maybe just a little bit more exciting. Thank you guys so much for watching. God bless, and salud.